setting up that session like that because the whole point of me doing it is not is that I don't want to just use SSH. I want to have like the full OS and like all that stuff available to me, the GUI and stuff like that. I don't want to just look at my Mac terminal.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, all right.
Anyway, I hate Windows.
All right, you ready to go?
I think I'm ready to go. We should explain that I have a cold.
All right, I will add that. Okay. All right. Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of Patch Notes, the Home Games podcast. I'm Yazeed, and this is Joseph. Oh my gosh.
I always cut you off, and I was like, okay, well, let's just see what he does, when he's hosting, when he's opening it up. Let's just see how he does it. And you just do the same thing, and you wait for me to cut you off. This is how this works.
A little. Well, also, I was waiting for you to say something like, hello, I'm Joseph, or something.
Oh, hello, I'm Joseph.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So today's podcast is a little interesting. Joseph has a cold, and I won't say I lost my voice last night, but I definitely feel like I did lose my voice last night. I feel like somebody has to be there to just be a committed cheerer, because the karaoke person was, at the end of the night, it was like the group that I was a part of. Oh, JC was there too. There's a group that I was a part of. There was like another group. There were two random white dudes. And then there was like the bartender and the person hosting the karaoke. And so it became way more like intimate because it's on like 7 people.
Right.
So I think having a dedicated cheering person for those 7 people is probably a good move.
Sure. Especially
because later in the night, people are a little bit deep in their drinks. You know what I mean?
I don't think I couldn't know what you mean.
That kind of cut into my What's Up Part 1. So let's just do the pause now. All right, there we go. A moment of silence for our music.
Also, I reused for Song of the Week last week. I reused our email questions or whatever music because I didn't want to find a new song or any of that.
I think that's fine.
Great. Fine is what I'm shooting for.
I mean, I didn't even know.
I want that 2.9 average rating on the iTunes store. It's fine.
What is our average rating?
No, we don't have any ratings, so...
What?
Undefined.
That's really unfortunate.
Whatever.
We deserve like a 10. I don't know what iTunes uses, but we deserve a 10.
You can rate yourself. It's a 5-star system. Okay, well, I'm saying if you want to commit voter fraud on a very small scale, you can go ahead and make a Apple account, download iTunes, and rate our podcast.
That's right.
And I can also give it 5 stars.
Synovia can too. That's already 3 people.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Probably JC. That's 4. Alex, 5. There we go. That's like 25 stars. That's good.
Yeah, and then we start to get real reviews, and that just drops, But at least it'll be good while it lasts.
Do you know if we had any repeat listeners?
Yes. We have a non-zero amount of repeat listeners.
Hey, that aren't us, I should specify.
Yeah.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah.
So what's up, man? How's it going? Aside from being sick, what's slapping? Just coughing.
Yeah, sorry. I have a cold, and besides having a cold, life is fine. But that's really been the whole thing. It started off as like a barely scratchy throat on Sunday, and then it kind of was the same on Monday. Slightly worse. That kind of like, I think I'm gonna be sick tomorrow type of scratchy throat. But on day 2, I was like, okay, well, it's probably fine. And then day 3 is when it actually started to feel worse, and I started getting like a little bit of a cough, and this was on Tuesday. I was like, okay, well, it's like probably just a air difference thing between Seattle and Tucson, because I was just in Tucson, and I'm like adjusting to the difference, whatever. But yeah, no. And then it kept getting worse and worse. And it's like a slow motion cold. And today is probably the worst day of it so far. And it's Saturday. So it's been like 6 days. But
that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, whatever. I'm fine.
Speaking of, have you ever seen anyone, speaking of, like, this is an actual transition. It's not. Have you ever seen somebody roll their own cigarette in this day and age?
I think I have a family member that does that. I'm not sure if that's if that's like an allusion or whatever to another thing. You know what I mean?
I mean,
no, I mean from my family member. I don't know if he's really talking to you.
Would it surprise you?
No, I kind of could go. I've just never asked this person if they're really rolling their own cigarettes, but yeah.
No, okay. So at my company event, this dude from out of town at our table in the middle of like a meeting took out rolling paper, and what I found out later was tobacco, but at first I was like, is this man rolling a joint at a work event in a city that doesn't allow that? Like, what am I looking at right now? Because he just like took it and he like packed it, and then he licked, and then he like rolled and stuff, and I was just like, this man's token up right outside. Like, that's illegal here.
Was the paper like a joint paper or something else?
I don't know. It looked like it could be because it was just generic white thin paper.
Yeah. Then yeah,
like I'm still kind of sure that dude probably does roll his own joints. He looked like the guy who does. He looks like the guy who's like, I don't believe in like other people rolling my joints. Because, I mean, obviously he's like, I don't believe in a company that designs cigarettes rolling my cigarettes.
Well, that is true. I mean, if you just roll your own cigarettes, you only smoke tobacco. You don't get all the like other stuff that Marlboro and whoever else puts in their cigarettes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is hand rolling a cigarette better for you?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't smoke cigarettes, but yeah. That's a thing, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I did not know first of all, I don't know that person at all. That was the first time I ever saw them, and just sitting across them, and just he casually starts rolling his own cigs at the table. I was definitely like, huh, all right, this is where we're at already. Okay.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool though. People don't even do that here where it's legal, for weed. I mean, it's like, rolling the joint in public. People don't do that. Well, actually, no, that's not true.
I actually ended up hand rolling my own cigarettes. I think it's a good look for me.
And then not smoke them, just keep them around. Build a little collection.
That was like the whole thing about A Fault in Our Stars. The main dude, he would keep a cigarette in his mouth to remind him about lung cancer.
Yeah. I did really like that movie.
Yeah, I did too. I never read the book, but I liked the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why it got such heat.
Did it?
Yeah.
Why?
People said it wasn't that good.
But okay. Well, that's always true for everything. But
well, like people were like, "Oh, this is like a kid's version of like a dramatic movie."
Yeah, it's true.
It is. It
Do
was
kids
a
not
kid's
deserve
version
to
of a
see
dramatic movie.
Do kids not deserve to see dramatic movies?
I guess not.
Karen.
I don't know. People are like. I was going to save this question for later, but this is a really good time. Do you think that there is a good amount of elitism? Like, is there an amount of elitism in something that you think is good?
You say elitism, you just mean on like a society level, like just people feeling a certain way?
Either at a society level or like an individual level. Like, I don't know if this is true, but let's say, for example, LeBron James is like super elitist about basketball, and like when he watches kids play, all he does is be like, look at them, look at their form, it's all bad, look at their tactic, it's trash, and like stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that sucks if someone feels that way. Like, instead of being so like holier than thou, you should try to bring people up instead of that whole thing. But maybe that's just his way of doing it, is insulting someone for motivation, which definitely works, by the way. It's just but yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine. I think people can be jerks if they want to, and people are also free to not like people for being jerks. But I think having this, like, you have to think that you're better than someone to think that you can teach them. You know what I mean? Like, in this one particular domain, not like in general or whatever. But say I study the alphabet. I know all 26 letters. And these really stupid 3-year-olds walk into the room. I have to teach them the alphabet. I know I'm better than them at the alphabet because they don't know any of these.
This is true.
So if by definition that's elitism, they just don't act like a jerk about it. They just teach the alphabet and move on, and that's totally fine. That's, you know what I mean? That's how things work.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
What about you? What do you think?
I don't know. I originally was like, I've been going back and forth on it. That's why I had this on there, because at first I was like, oh, elitism is always bad. Like, never be elitist. Always be, like, inclusive. Like, not inclusive, but, like, encouraging to other people. But then I realized that I kind of like trash talk in sports. And so I don't think I can have it both ways, where I like trash talk, but I don't like elitism. Because I feel like trash talk is basically just, like, one person being, or, like, one group of people being like, I'm definitely better. And that's kind of elitist.
Yeah. Or just like thinking that you're better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if it's not actually being better, what if the kids walked into the classroom and they already know all the 26 letters plus the hidden 27th one? You know?
What?
Yeah.
There's a 27th letter?
I'll tell you about it later. It's kind of a company secrets, but yeah. But yeah, no.
The 27th letter is actually home games.
Oh yeah, that would be a great transition to home game stuff.
Dang it. Okay, well, do you have anything else for What's Up Part 1?
I can save it for What's Up Part 2.
Okay, cool. Let's hop right into Home James then.
Home James?
So, yeah, Home James. That's what JC's been calling it to me, and it's funny, and I know I shouldn't say that on, like, the official podcast, because it's not, but Home James.
What if that's the name of the guy?
James?
Home James.
Home James?
That's like our figure or whatever.
Home James is the dude who owns that couch and TV.
Yeah, perfect. We could
we'll
do
build a whole backstory for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say build a whole persona. We could have him in commercials. We'll make Home James the guy.
Home James. All right.
And then that can go to Home Gym. And then it's like Home Gym. You know what I mean? Oh my god, this is going nuts already. 2020 coming in hot.
I also have like the perfect person to play Home James. His voice would be fantastic for it.
Who is it? Is it Alex?
Oh, no, Alex. I don't think we could get Alex to just read a script.
No,
Alex would introduce some, let's say, pizzazz into it. But okay, so home games. So I had some stuff to bring up around Square.
Sure.
Mainly progress, but also kind of just something to point out. But so it's no longer smooth as butter. I made Square slower and more chunky, which is more on brand for it. I learned that green plus gold is perhaps the worst color scheme you could have for a game because
you need purple in there too.
I think that would make it worse, honestly. Well, because I was trying to put the lines down, and I was like, what two colors have a lot of contrast? And I was just quickly looking through it, and I was like, oh, green and gold. They have those are definitely not the same color. But then I was looking at it, and I was like, wow, that is terrible to look at. So I'll probably clean it up so it's just less awful.
You can also do custom colors. Instead of passing in a constant colors dot whatever, you can just pass in the array of 4 bytes.
Oh, that's true. Well, I'm fine. I'm fine using the base colors in there because I want to have it be randomly assigning colors to people. Mm-hmm. But I was just trying to delimitate the lanes for traffic in Square, basically, so that I could easily see okay, is it moving? Is it not moving? Kind of dealio.
Yeah.
But along with that, did you know that the order we create nodes is also the Z index for those nodes?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Should we implement a Z index on nodes? I mean, couldn't we render in descending, basically Oh wait,
Order the tree in the Z order.
yeah,
I would argue that that's
way more
implicit.
intensive.
That's implied in the creation of the tree. So, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have Z order now. It's not explicitly, inserted into the thing. But when building the tree, if you want something to be rendered afterward, you would build it below that. So it's kind of a weird thing because we need a nicer interface for that. But it's like it feels like you gotta, put on your Neo sunglasses and like enter the Matrix to build your thing perfectly, to know how to structure your tree just so that it renders correctly.
That's true. Well, I thought maybe just for like being able to dynamically change the Z index, like make an element pop forward, might be useful. But I can see your argument of like, well, then you just need to render your tree correctly. If you render your tree correctly, it'll be correct.
Yes, but I thought of this problem when I was thinking about a common home game or a home button. So every game should have something where it's consistent and it's able to get you back to the home thing, and like maybe change your name there and maybe do whatever. It's like a dashboard. Well, it's the dashboard. So, well, what if I wanted to have everything extend from some sort of base root, and that base root had this common game node structure, which was just a home button in the top left, for example, to keep it simple. Well, if I give you this master root and you render everything beneath it, it's rendered first. And if you have like a background, for example, that background covers this home button. So then that would need to be like a Z index 99 type thing, like you do in CSS. But when I do that in CSS, it feels like a hack. And it's like, why would I build a feature that it's going to feel like a hack? So that doesn't feel like the correct way to do it.
That makes sense.
Maybe we should have a nicer interface for interacting with the tree. I mean, I think that's true anyway. You know what I mean? Like making it more, at least with like the function names being called, making it explicit what this helper is doing to make it more obvious that this thing is going to be something versus something else. You know what I mean? I don't really know yet, but
I think that's fine. Yeah, that makes sense. I was just a little when I ran into it, I was like, why is my stuff not showing up?
Yeah.
And then I started to delete nodes off the top, and then I realized, oh, I need to do this last.
Yeah.
So you pretty much always need to bring in character nodes last, or like player nodes last.
Yeah. Everything you want visible. Yeah, like top layer visible.
Yes. Yeah, that was a good find. I just was curious if you had any thoughts on that. I do agree with you about CSS index feeling like a hack.
Yeah. Because like, how many nines do I put? Oh, it
well,
doesn't matter.
So that's the thing, is that in like Material UI and other like UI libraries like that, they put their Z indexes at like starting at like 1,000 sometimes.
Yeah.
Like their Z indexes are like so high. And that's specifically because like Z indexes get messed up, or like Z indexes are like a little bit jank.
Yeah, they get abused.
And that's just like make sure their stuff is on top where it's supposed to be.
Oh, so their whole thing is based on this hack.
Z indexing on like UI frameworks. Yeah, a little bit. Well, because like the whole idea on like Material UI is supposed to be like it gives you, it's just like a stack of papers basically. Or that's a kind of a lame explanation, but it's supposed to like a stack of elements. So there's almost always like a little shadow underneath each element. And the higher up you place each element, because you can like define like, I want this to be like at like this height, defines like how big of a shadow and like how dark the shadow is under it.
Yeah.
So it looks really cool. Like I like the look of Material UI, but it definitely has some drawbacks.
Yeah. 1 sec, I'm gonna blow this nose. I'm all right.
Nice. You know what they say about blowing your nose in the morning?
Yeah? What do they say?
Oh, it's, I have no idea. I was thinking something else. It's January 11th, 2020, by the way. I don't think we said that earlier.
Jesus. We have to re-record the intro. We've done this every week. We have one episode where we have a correct intro. We're like, oh yeah, 30 minutes in, we're like, oh yeah, today is January. 3 hours in, oh yeah, by the way, I'm Yazeed.
Did we even do introductions to the last podcast? Last episode?
I think so. We did that. We did the whole. I was like, did we even say that I'm Joseph? And that was 12
No, I
minutes
don't
in.
think I said I'm Yazeed in the last one either.
Oh yeah, no, you didn't. Great. We're doing great.
But all right, man. What do you have for home games?
Oh, okay. So I didn't work on it a whole lot. I'm not like throwing features at it anymore like we talked about last week. I just spent some time thinking about how to restructure the squisher in the game session. And last night I actually did some work on kind of restructuring some stuff and redoing a basic squisher to kind of test this new structure. And really, I discovered it's the same structure that we've had all along. Like this whole crazy listeners thing, it just feels complex because we have too many listeners, and it's kind of unclear of who's the parent of what, who should be listening to events of something versus who's independent from that, who's is whatever, right? Like everything just talks to each other. So, the original idea was like a game is pure. A game is just this thing that operates. It's like a state machine. You have some sort of event, and you can easily test that event. And it has some sort of state that changes, and you can test that state changes, and that's it. You can have input and whatever. It shouldn't know about a squisher. And so, because a squisher is intended to just render. A squisher is supposed to squish. A squisher listens to a game's update. It squishes its state into something. And that's it. It just squishes and has a squished version of the game state. And that's all. A game session can listen to this squisher and get its squished output on some sort of event thing or whatever. And this game server can then broadcast to clients. And that's it. I think a lot of the complexity that we have now is because I've added what should be util functions into the squisher. Because the squisher has access to the whole array of the game, the squished array of the game.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where all the mathy stuff should go. The checking collision stuff could go. The whatever kind of stuff could go. But you don't need that at all. It actually makes it slower because the squisher could have, if it has larger than, 100 by, or 160 by 90 pixels or whatever. Anyway, if it has a significant amount of pixels in it, it's going more than 100 by 100, which is the percentage stuff that we would be checking in like a loop of collisions and stuff like that within the actual game state. But in the squisher, it's doing basically pixels. Or not pixels, but real like coordinates, chunks. Translated coordinates. Yeah. And so it's like... Anyway, I don't really know what I'm saying, but it would be slower in the squisher to do a lot of that stuff than it would be to do just in a common game util, where you say, give it your root, and it'll compute something for you. Pure. It can all be pure. You don't need to have some sort of squished state already. Yeah, I think that's generally it.
I don't... from last week's episode, it sounded like also, though, we wanted the game itself to not be as dumb, right? Because we wanted to be able to, hover over something and things of that nature.
So the client shouldn't be as dumb. The client really won't change at all there, because the game session will still be sending out the same squished state of a game and all that. I think the change for getting the clients to be slightly smarter is to encode the game node type within the game node frame, or whatever we're calling it. So then
actually serialize the tree.
Not the tree, but say that something has an on-click. You can't put that on-click, into an array of bytes for the client to do. So we just basically have all that clicking stuff handled currently on the server. But if we had a thing telling the client, hey, this isn't the on-click function, but I have an on-click. So then the client says, oh, cool. When I render you, I'll put and when the mouse is hovered over you, then I'll add a hover CSS class thing or whatever. You know what I mean? So in that way, we just have to tell a client, hey, this thing that you're putting here is actually something of type this. And these types are generic. It's not an OS-specific thing. It's a clickable thing. It's a text thing. It's an editable text thing, etc.
So either building enum or use like sending a string across to say like these chunks have an on click, so make sure that you hover when you're on these chunks.
Yeah, or yeah, everything. Because I mean, like on an iOS client, it wouldn't care so much about hovering because there's no hover.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it's basically just establishing the interface for the clients. It's like you have to implement this, you have to implement this, and if they do, then they are a valid client. As long as whatever they're implementing under this, like on their actual side, is something valuable. Like
Mm-hmm.
when they click an editable text box, it actually brings up the keyboard instead of a console log that says to do.
Yeah, man, that makes a lot of sense. I like that. I'm interested to see how you want to start splitting apart the squisher.
Well, I like I said, I rewrote some things last night. So it was, I made a game base class. And this game base class has pretty much the same things that games have now. They have a root, they have a whatever, but they don't actually call anything. Like they have, players are now also part of game because the game implicitly has players. It's not just this magic thing created by the game session. It's a game should have add player, remove player. At a basic level, the interface should have that. So then it makes more sense to have this .players be a part of game and all that kind of thing. So that's one thing. But then for the squisher, it's all I had is a constructor that takes a game, and then it adds itself as a listener to that game state, and then it calls its own update function, which will update the root, and it just keep a squished array of everything from the root, and that's it. And then I have a game session that I also created, like a new game session that'll just broadcast out by listening to the squisher, and that's it. All the collision stuff, like I said, can just be ripped out. So yeah, I think if it doesn't depend on directly talking to the squished array, it doesn't need to be in squisher.
I think that makes sense. Okay, I like that. Okay, I'm interested to see like what you end up coming up with, and then also have you like committed your code somewhere or something like that? I just want to like, because this was like my other one I want to talk about, but if you could do like milestone PRs almost, as opposed to just like the whole dump, because I was trying to read through the other one, and not like today or yesterday, but like I think a couple days ago now. Yeah. And it's like 60 something files touched or something close to that.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's a lot of files to like read through and stuff like that. So it's just like, I think smaller PRs would be nicer. Yeah. Even if it means like we have to have a lot more PRs, I feel like smaller PRs is nicer.
Yeah, well, I still have a lot to remove from that one. I haven't finished it yet. I didn't really work on a lot of home game stuff this week, so I only did the stuff last night, and then yeah, I'll remove a lot of that stuff that's currently in there and make it hopefully easier to go through.
Yeah, because I was just like going through it and I was like, whew. It's like 2-3 hours of just looking through this code and then testing it and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like 1,300 lines, which is like 1,200 too many.
It's a lot. I'm not saying that's bad or anything like that. I was just going to suggest like it's like maybe smaller PRs, which is why I was, for this one, I was like, if you could start, like just put out like a milestone just so I can keep track of like, okay, he's changing this and this, and he's changing like this and this.
I haven't actually changed anything yet. It's all, it's just a thing called test.js. I just defined all my classes in there and then depended on the existing game.
Oh, okay. I understand. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. That works.
But yeah.
I don't know. Did you have anything else on home games?
I don't think so. I'm just going to kind of keep going down this thing and hopefully have my updated dashboard PR by next week. And then we can kind of go from there. Because I don't really know what we're doing after that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, for me, hopefully by next week, I have like level 0 or level 1 of Square, so I could demo Square for you.
Yeah.
And then from there, I don't know. For me, at least, I could keep going with Square, adding more levels, adding more stuff to it, cleaning it up a little bit, things like that. But from there, I don't know. I was also thinking about just seeing if JC/Alex wanted to work on it, because if they did, I'd be like, okay, well, I can hand that off to them, and then I can help you with redoing the swisher. Like I can help you like redoing the base architecture on things if you wanted.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet, because to me it's actually not that much to change, so I might be able to get it just this week, but we'll see. I might run into some crazy thing and have to do something else. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, next week when we talk, or also like in the week, if you are like, oh, okay, like I think maybe we could start to split this stuff up, then we can take a look at like splitting it up and stuff like that. Because the other thing too is that as we're rebuilding the architecture, it would be nice if we could just try and inject unit testing, or at least like just taking a look at like what it would take to put unit testing into the like base architecture as opposed to just like some of the utility stuffs.
Well, I could add, a 20-line function just full of asserts and test the basic listener and state changes and all that kind of stuff today. We don't even need Mocha for that.
No, we don't need Mocha for that. But the nice thing about Mocha is it would run through all those test files. And at the end of it, if we're going to leverage GitHub's like CI stuff, probably nice. No.
Doesn't Mocha just like return an exit code? And
I don't think so. Mocha is like a testing framework, so Mocha returns whether tests passed or not in plus coverage. So you could say like when you in your, I think you can do in the GitHub CI is like if the tests don't pass, PRs have like a notice on them. They're like, oh, your test failed.
Is that just reading standard out? Is that just reading standard out? I guess I don't know how it's integrated with Mocha.
I have no idea how it's integrated either. That I don't know. But anyway, back on topic. Yeah, I'll take a look at how Mocha actually returns. But I do know that it can, using a testing framework and CI, you can block PR, or not block, but you can like put a notice on PRs so that the tests run whenever you make a PR, basically.
Okay. Yeah, we'll look into that whole stuff, because if we don't need Mocha, I don't want Mocha.
Yeah, no, I agree 1,000%. If we don't need Mocha, let's not use Mocha. But I'm interested to see if we're going to use like GitHub CI, then we might want to look at what our options are for running tests and stuff in that CI pipeline. But okay, I don't know. Do you have anything else? That's pretty much all my updates for home games.
I thought I had an idea that I thought would be cool, but then I forgot it. So no, we'll get back to that sometime.
Did you write it down?
No.
Oh,
I have a notebook in every room, but I don't write things down when they matter.
This man owns really nice pens, notebooks, and keyboards, and a bunch of keyboards at that. Doesn't write stuff down.
Nope. I'm not a thinker like that. I'm planning ahead.
Oh boy. Yep. All right, man. Let's hop right into it then. Song of the week.
Song of the week. Play the music. I'm playing the music.
Okay.
I don't even know which one it is. But
it's one that goes like, do, 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 do.
We should just make that the song.
No. Everything Tynan has is better than that.
It's true. We can have him sample you doing that, and then that would be pretty cool. He'll just add like a trap drum to it.
Oh, yeah, that's actually, I like that idea. Did we use his synthwave one? His synthy one?
I think we might have it, like one of the subtle parts, but I don't know. Okay. Wavy drivey synth, I think is what it's called.
Yes. I like synth. Wave.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, song of the week.
You go first.
So my song of the week is "Rest" by Verite.
What is that?
Verite is, I think, just one lady, and she's a singer. And "Rest" is a song, I think, from like 2018 or something from her.
What's the genre?
I don't know. In my head, it's just pop, but I guess it would fall under like indie pop because she's not like a big deal artist or anything like that.
Is it
she's
similar?
A little underground, you know? If you never heard of her.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it similar to the vibe of Maiden Heights?
Yeah, a little. I actually think she's more similar to like.
She's more what?
More similar to. No, I mean, yeah, it's got similar vibe. I like that vibe. Like, I really like that vibe, and I think she's pretty similar to it.
Okay, because like 20 minutes before this podcast, I listened to like 3 Maiden Heights songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I know what that is now. I don't know. It's like cool, but it's very subtle. And I guess I have trouble thinking of like imagining myself driving to those songs because I want Young Thug screaming about drugs. You know, I don't really. It's hard for me to get into stuff where it's like, oh, this sounds kind of cool, and someone's just drinking coffee to this. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's
cool.
got comfy vibes.
Yeah.
A lot of my music has comfy vibes.
And then
I think that's what it is. I think that's like a big difference between you and me. Is when I like a song, it's usually because I like the vibes of that song. It's like what you said, like on a podcast ago. It's like the feeling of a vibe. That's what a song is to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've never really known what kind of music you like. I just know it's that weird stuff. It was like, so it's nice actually getting an idea of what something sounds like.
Yeah, no. I think my favorite song of all time is "Intro" by the XX. And there's like almost no words in that song at all. Yeah, but I really like it.
Yeah,
I could write a thesis paper on it.
I know Jamie XX only because of that song with Young Thug. See, that's where we cross over.
That is where we cross over. Good times.
Yeah.
Hey. No, I like songs that are kind of like low key, chill. That's like not super upbeat usually.
Yeah. Very,
the rest
very
is kind of like that.
Yeah. Very nice. I also wanted to listen to Oh Wonder, but I have not started yet.
First song I ever heard by them is I think called Land Shark.
It's called what?
Land Shark, I think. I'll look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's called Land Shark. That's literally the song that made me go like, this band is great. I love this band. Oh, it's just called Shark. My bad. It's called Shark.
I'll put that on my list.
Yes. Slowly, I'll convert you to being some sort of weirdo.
Yeah. But yeah, is it me? My turn?
Yes.
My song of the week, kind of going off of my song of the week last week, from Don Toliver. I still don't know how to say his name. Oh, Tolliver. There's no second I. I'm reading it right in front of me. Don Tolliver? That's a weird name.
Toliver sounds way cooler than Tolliver, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, this guy has a song called Too Lil Shorty. It's pretty good. I listened to his album Donnie Womack. Don't know what that is either. Womack? Who cares? And I like that one song a lot. And I've been playing that song a lot this past week. It's pretty good. It's catchy. That's really all I care about.
I'll check it out. Is it 2 as in the number 2 or like 2 as in TOO?
Too Lil Shorty. It's just the chorus is really hooky.
That's a banger.
Yeah, it's quite a banger.
All right, I'll check it out as well. This is not a culture exchange, just like an exchange of songs. It's the way it is. It's really just a way for me to try to tell you what songs to try to listen to, and I'm going to listen to all the songs that you suggest.
All right, well, I think that's a pretty good one to start because it's not super intense. Like that one time when I played a DMX song and you were terrified in the car.
Okay, all right. Listen, I'm going to tell this story because it's a good story. But Joseph and I were very into Katy Perry. And when we were driving, we blew out one of my car's speakers by blasting Katy Perry. Then when we got to my house, I forgot how loud we left the speakers. And so when we were going back to university, he
played X Gonna Give It To You.
He played X Gonna Give It To You. But when the dog barks, it sounded like there was a dog in my car. And I freaked out a little bit because how loud it was, and also the fact that I was like There is a dog in my car.
I don't think that's a dog barking. I'm pretty sure that's him barking.
It is him barking, and it sounds so much like a dog barking.
That's the start of the song.
He's really good. I didn't know this about dogs. This is just a random tangent, but I guess dogs understand people really well, and people understand dogs really well, like even at a very young age. Like children really quickly figure out like dogs, what a dog's bark represents. Like if a dog's like a happy bark versus like an aggressive bark. And young dogs also very quickly pick up on like human body language, apparently.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense though. Kids and dogs are like a special kind of a match.
Connection. I think people and dogs are like a special kind of connection.
Yeah.
And people who like cats are rejecting that connection. Cats are garbage. Belong in the trash. All right, man. It's time for What's Up Part 2.
What's Up Part 2? What's up Part 2, Yazeed?
Not much, man. Things are going pretty well. I got a vegan meal. And for some reason, people think that a vegan meal means that I want salad and only salad for lunch. In fact, that's the opposite. Salad is like an appetizer to the real lunch.
True.
Well, because, like some places you're like, okay, when you go to like a company event, they usually like, do you have any dietary restrictions? And I said, yeah, like I don't eat meat. And so they were like, okay, cool. And the venue was like, well, we just collapsed everyone who doesn't eat meat down to being vegan. And I was like, but I eat fish and eggs. And they're like, shh, 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 vegan. So I just had a salad for lunch, and that was fine. It was okay. It was mostly spinach and zucchini. And I eat spinach, and zucchini is gross. So,
you ever had like a quote, real vegan meal?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
It was okay. I'm really into the meat substitutes. Like, I like Beyond Meat, and I like Impossible Burgers and stuff like that. I don't know. And I even do eat, like, soy and things like that, and, like, a Boca Burger. I've eaten a lot of, like, meat substitute stuff. But something about vegan cheese I don't like. And that's a real bummer. Also, vegan bread just doesn't feel right. Like, I don't know what it is, but vegan bread just doesn't feel the same.
Doesn't fluff correctly.
Yeah. And I've also had vegan pancakes, and they also didn't fluff correctly. They were much more dense because they used applesauce instead of eggs.
Yeah.
And they also tasted a little bit like apple, which I was okay with, but not fluffy.
Yeah. It's fine. Vegan stuff is fine. I've had, there's a place in Tucson that has really good, probably like my favorite vegan cheeseburger. It's like, I don't know how they made it. No. It's called Butte Burger? Boat Burger? I don't know how you say that word. It's B-E-A-U-T Burger.
Oh. Boo Burger.
Boo Burger?
No, I have no idea. I've never heard of that place. I'm making stuff up.
No, I went with a friend of mine like a year ago. And it was super good. Like, it was vegan cheese, but I don't know what it was made of. Obviously, I have no idea what that thing was that I ate. But it was really good. It tasted like a cheeseburger.
Nice. I don't know. I'm kind of stoked that a lot of meat substitutes are coming out now, and like they're actually good.
If I was a vegan, I would just eat French fries.
Yeah,
constantly.
Absolutely.
Like cantaloupe.
That's why I'm like, why do people think a vegan wants salad? Dog, I ain't in it to eat salad. Okay, give me French fries and like pasta. Give me pasta. Pasta's vegan, or can be.
Yeah, but I don't know how you... Well, I guess if you buy the stuff that doesn't have egg in it.
Yeah.
Then, yeah. Anyway.
The other thing I had about What's Up Part 2 is, listen, I know you love eggs, so this might be like sacrilegious.
I went through a dozen this week.
What?
Yeah, go ahead. Continue.
Hold on. A dozen eggs in a week?
4 days, yeah.
Sir, what? Do you eat 3 eggs a day for 4 days in a row?
If you break down that math, yeah. That's
4 days you eat 4 eggs 3 times a week.
I think there was one day I ate 4 eggs, one day I ate 2, and 2 days I ate 3.
That's a lot of eggs, fam.
It's great.
Think about the protein you just consumed. That's a lot of protein, actually. Good for you. Yes. I'm proud of you, man. But I was going to say, I guess there's fake eggs or like dehydrated eggs that a lot of hotels serve, where it's just like egg powder.
Yeah.
And then when they cook it, they rehydrate. Oh, you knew about this?
I didn't know that hotels did that, but I knew about egg powder.
Okay, I guess hotels, that's where a lot of hotels scrambled eggs are.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they don't keep like real scrambled eggs on staff.
Zenobia and I went to a hotel in, I don't remember what state, but they had real eggs at the thing. The guy had like a whole pitcher full of whisked eggs and was making omelets.
Ooh, that's nice. I like hotels like that. I like seeing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Especially now that I know that there's fake eggs too. I didn't know there were fake eggs.
You could tell though when you eat them, it's like very obvious that they're not correct.
How? I have no idea.
They're like crusty. They're like dry. They're chunky. They taste like egg powder. I don't know how to tell you, bud. It just, you can tell.
I didn't know, but I also don't eat eggs usually for breakfast at places. Normally I'll eat like French toast or pancakes or waffles because I don't have that very often at home.
You see,
But
I
I'll
want to
like-
compare eggs to my eggs. It's like, I make good eggs. Does Denny's make good eggs? It's like, no, but I keep getting them.
Yeah. Denny's is a sacred place for you.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, I don't know if you remember, but our conversation briefly when you were still in town about sacred spaces. And I think Denny's is a sacred space for you in Synovia.
Yeah, it's always been a part of my life. I wanted to, when I was, like, my first ever dream was wanting to own a Denny's.
What? Are you kidding right now? Are you serious?
Not like literal sleeping dream. I mean, you know, when children aspire to do things and be things, I wanted to own a Denny's.
What deterred you from owning a Denny's?
I think when I realized that no one who owns a Denny's is happy, like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't want to own that Denny's. Because they probably own a bunch of Denny's, and they're probably like it's probably a whole other thing. I don't want that. I don't want to own
How
a Denny's.
How expensive is it to own a Denny's?
I don't know. If I could die after having owned a Denny's, then that'll be a good death.
All right, I'll make sure that happens.
That I die?
Yeah, well, I mean, one goes into the other, but I'll definitely make sure you own a Denny's before you die. How
Great.
about that?
That's the dream. No, yeah, I don't know. I always just like Denny's. That is my place. They're consistent for the most part. They try. Like, IHOP doesn't.
Wow.
Yeah. Shots fired.
Nice.
Village Inn,
I like
Village
Waffle
Who?
House, personally.
Waffle House is good.
Yeah.
Not great.
I mean, you know why I like Waffle House, though. Not necessarily for the food, but because the waiters and waitresses call you hun and honey and sweetie.
Yeah. But
And I really, really like that.
But you did block out that whole time that we went to Waffle House.
No, I do remember we went to a restaurant and then across the street was a Waffle House. So we ate dinner and then we went across the street for dessert at Waffle House,
Yeah.
which was just waffles.
Went to that seafood place that sucks.
Yes, they're under new management apparently.
Mm.
In case you ever want to go back.
I'll go back. It probably sucked though. Still.
No, there's way better places in town like Kingfisher and I guess there's a poke place that's supposed to be really good too.
I don't like poke. I never had poke. I don't like it.
All right, hold on. Wait, you don't like it but never had it?
Right.
So like, is it like a texture? Like, do you not like the look of it or what?
I don't like the idea of it. I barely like sushi as it is. You know what I mean?
I mean, you're not like super big into fish though.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I barely like sushi as it is. I'm not a fish person. I'm not a bowl person. I don't eat things in bowls.
You don't eat things in bowls.
Yeah.
I've seen you eat, I think, either oatmeal or cereal before.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a occasion where I'll eat something out of a bowl. I'm not a monster, but it's not my thing, I guess. I don't like soup much. I don't like rice bowls. I don't like anything served in a bowl. I'll eat cereal at home and oatmeal and stuff. Mm-hmm. But if I go to a restaurant, you won't catch me getting something in a bowl. Unless they ran out of plates and they put my burger in a bowl. You know what I mean?
This man's actually elitist about what they serve his You know that subreddit, like, I want
We want plates. Yeah.
You want plates? You're like you're like that, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're not wrong. All these things. It's like, why are you putting this steak on a hook in front of me? Give me a plate. Why are you putting this thing on a tree stump? Give me a plate.
I didn't know we were this elitist about your food. British. No, I'm just kidding.
I need a plate.
But what's up with you, man? What you got?
Nothing. I've been playing. I installed Call of Duty again. I know I said I'd never play it again, but I installed it. It's fine. They have gun game in there, so I've been playing a bunch of gun game this past week. I've been playing some more Outer Worlds. I got the part that I needed for my ship. I figured out my moral dilemma. I still don't know what this, like, I still haven't discovered that thing that you told me about the cannery. So maybe I have to do something else, but I'm about ready to leave that whole planet, I think. So, anyway, that game's pretty cool.
Idea. JC just tells me things. I've never even played the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's about it. Outer Worlds is pretty cool. I think I'm going to keep playing that game. It makes me want to play Fallout 4 again, though, because I really liked Fallout 4, even though I don't think I did. But I remember liking Fallout 4.
What didn't you like about Fallout 4?
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember it. I remember liking it a lot. But when I think about playing it, I'm like, oh, well, where was the fun, you know? But I spent like 50 hours playing Fallout 4. So I think I might do that again.
You don't remember any low points, but you definitely don't remember any high points either. Like, it was just a solid game.
Yeah. Not like Fallout 3, where that game was just cool the whole time. And I remember like the entire game just being great. But Fallout 4, it's like the shooting was better. That's about it. You know?
Was the story better?
I don't remember. Like I vaguely remember the story.
Oh man!
It became like this dumb, confusing mess where it was like, "There's actually just this person that you thought was dead is not dead," or something like that. It's just like, who cares?
I don't know. I've only ever played New Vegas in the Fallout series, and I didn't really like it.
I also didn't like New Vegas much, which is the opposite opinion that most people have.
Yeah, I said that actually expecting you to call me a dumb boy or something, but no, I don't know. I don't really like RPG shooters that much.
Oh well, I was gonna say you should play Fallout 3, but that's the
an RPG shooter.
Yeah,
but it concerns me because I'm really excited for Cyberpunk, which is an RPG shooter. So yeah. We'll see if either my opinion changes or I'm just incredibly biased. We'll see.
What about the genre do you not like?
I don't know. I like RPG games in a fantasy setting. I'm like the opposite of you. Like, I like Elder Scrolls and stuff like that.
You really are the opposite. You don't like anything close to the same music. You don't like the same. We like the same movies.
We do.
But yeah,
and we have like a very similar sense of humor. We're not opposites. We're like mirror images of each other. Like, there's some stuff that's like exactly the same, but then like some stuff that's like, oh, that's right, like his right hand is actually like on my left side and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, Yazeed likes bad things like fantasy and sci-fi.
My gosh.
Made some wrong choices in his life. Hang out with the wrong crowd.
I'll do one step better. I like space opera, which is fantasy in sci-fi.
So like, do you like have you played Mass Effect?
No, I've never played Mass Effect.
You would probably like Mass Effect quite a bit. It's an RPG shooter. But
that game got too hyped up, and also I have no idea how to play it because I think it was on Xbox for a long time, and it came out around the time that I stopped playing like console games.
It's on PC though.
Now it is.
All of them are. Mass Effect 1 has the worst shooting, so you might like it the most. And Mass Effect 2 is my favorite because it's the most Rudy Tooty point and shooty. Or the best Rudy Tooty point and shooty. Mass Effect 3 I think has more shooty, but it's not as great. And then people hate the ending for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I remember the Mass Effect 3 thing, but I never really got into the Mass Effect series either. I don't know. Most of the games I play aren't even RPGs. I don't really know how much I play RPGs versus like strategy games.
What's like your most played game on Steam?
I think it's Stellaris.
What's your top 3?
I'll take a look. One sec. Actually, Civ 5 at 291 hours, then Stellaris at 193, and then Mountain Blade Warband at 192.
Mountain Blade? That's a lot of time.
Is it?
192 hours?
Yeah.
That's more than my most played game. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, you don't really play like you play like a mix of like on Steam and then like on consoles and stuff like that.
I used to. The majority of my playtime is on Xbox 360. Like my most played game ever, I'm pretty sure, is Modern Warfare 2 with 31 days.
Over Geometry Wars?
There's no accurate playtime tracking in Geometry Wars 2. So I would guess maybe Geometry Wars 2 more, but I know for a fact that Modern Warfare 2 has me at 31 days.
Oh my god. My top 5, it's Rocket League at 133, and then Total War Rome Total War 2 at 113. That's my top 5.
Very impressive. You like a bunch of like, I don't know, just nerd stuff. It's cool.
That's 3.5 strategy games and then Rocket League to give you an idea of like what I'm playing. Since Mountain Blade is like a fantasy adventure RPG strategy game all rolled into one.
It just looks really bad. I couldn't get into it.
Oh yeah, Mountain Blade does look pretty bad now. It looks pretty garbage. That game's also like 15 years old or something.
That's impressive that you're still playing it.
Well, there's a new one coming out. Bannerlord is supposed to be coming out soon. And I'm hyped. I'm probably going to wait like 6-7 months after release so that if there's any bugs, they get patched out, because I played Mountain Blade Warband without any issues because I played it so many years after it's really released.
Smart.
It's kind of sad to me that we have to do that though. Like, I don't want to have to wait a couple months after a game releases to actually like experience that game, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sekiro came out and that didn't have bugs like at the start, but every other game I can think of did. Like the first week was totally busted.
Yeah. Like Civ 6, when that game came out, it wasn't like people didn't realize how busted some strategies were, but there was a ways to like ramp up so fast that the game could never catch up with you, basically.
Nice.
So, I don't know. Like, it just makes the game feel like non-fun.
Yeah.
Because to me, a lot of the games I like, the story kind of develops, like, there isn't really a story. It just sort of develops, like, from you playing it.
Right.
Like, oh, like, I went to war with this faction 3 times, and then on the 3rd time, I finally, like, broke them, and I won their, like, that, like, series of wars, basically. And now I'm top dog of the region, whatever.
It's like the story of the game, not the story.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to get into games like Dwarf Fortress and things like that, but they look way too complicated.
Well, my top 5 were. Can you guess my number 1?
Can I guess your number 1?
That's okay.
Dark Souls or Dark Souls 2.
I wish it was Dark Souls. So my top 5 is disappointing, especially my number 2. My number 1 is Geometry Wars 3 with 132.
That was my other guess, actually.
It's 132 hours. And then second is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, 88 hours. Yeah. And then Hotline Miami 2 is my number 3, 69 hours. Number 4 is Devil Daggers, 65 hours. And then 5 is Dark Souls with 60 hours. But a lot of that's from Alex, so I actually haven't even played it that much.
That's interesting because you really, really love Dark Souls, so I'm surprised you don't play it more. But
I think it's because I gave that one the number 1 because it is the start of all the other games I liked more. Like, I like Dark Souls 3 more than I like Dark Souls 1. I like Bloodborne more than I like Dark Souls, and I like Sekiro more than I like Dark Souls. But I've played those 3 games a lot. Like, a lot. Like, Dark Souls 3, I have 49 hours. And the other ones aren't on... Oh, on Sekiro, I have 46. In Bloodborne, I probably have a similar number on PS4. So it's like, oh, okay. Bloodborne or Dark Souls started all that, so Dark Souls. Actually, it was Demon Souls, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. That's interesting. Games that I definitely would expect were on your top 5. Hotline Miami for sure, and Geometry Wars 3. I was like, those make sense. PUBG though, it's actually very highly rated for me too. Like it's number 6 for me, and I don't remember playing it that much.
It's because that game is terrible. That game is something that you just like turn on and you're like, okay, well I'll give this a go, and it takes so long to get into another match, and it takes so long to even get anything to happen. If you try to go into like the high volume areas when you drop, you just die immediately, and you have to start over your whole 10-minute process again, and that's a waste of your time. So then you try to make it last, and you're like, okay, well I'm gonna do the PUBG strategy, and then just camp out in this thing that I think is gonna be the center, wait here for 20 minutes, and then hope to God that I see someone first. And then that's it. That's the game. And then an hour went by, and you either died or you didn't, but you don't even care because it doesn't end well anyway, and you're just like, oh, I'll do another one. Or you're like, I'll never play this game again. And then you're playing it again the next day because it's just something to do.
Yeah. That's so stupidly true, and I hate it because I also have like a high amount of hours in that game.
Yeah.
I don't even enjoy that game at all.
Yeah, it's like almost 4 days I spent, like, and I never even played that game with you guys much. It's like maybe 3 hours I spent total playing with you guys. The rest of it was just me solo.
Yeah, I have 93 hours in that game.
Yeah.
That's a shit game.
It's a bad game. But like Hotline Miami 2, I only have so much time because I misread one of the achievements. I thought you had to get like 5 stars on every level or an S rating on every level on hard. So I tried to do that, and then 3 levels away from the end, after probably 40 hours of just playing the same things over and over and over again, trying to perfect them, I realized it was just get an S on all levels, not on hard.
On one hand, you've beaten the game pretty much on a level. Like you probably have an understanding of that game that even the developers might not have.
Yeah, I love that game. I love Hotline Miami. And the soundtrack is amazing. Everything about that game is great.
Yeah, no, the soundtrack for that is great. Yeah, I was definitely gonna guess that was in your top 5 as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely didn't expect that.
And then Devil Daggers is also great. It's like Geometry Wars, but first person.
I have no idea what that game is. I'll have to take a look at it.
It's a $5 game on Steam. It looks like Doom or whatever, like that old Doom, like the original, I mean. And yeah, it's a one-click game. Like you hold it down and it shoots fast, or you press it once and it shoots a shotgun thing, and you just kill skulls and demonic things, and it's awesome.
Nice. Do you remember Risk of Rain 2?
I do.
That's all.
I played that recently with Tynan, or like a couple months ago with Tynan.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a couple months ago, yeah. Like I was like recently, like yesterday, because I don't know anyone who still plays that game.
You know,
for how popular it was for like a little bit there.
It's cool. It's just not very fun.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, this year is supposed to be like a huge year for games. It's like the next 6 months, there's gonna be like a ton of games at launch.
Like, well, when does Cyberpunk come out?
This year, like in the next 6 months, I think.
Do they have a date or no?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I will look. Meeting myself once.
But yeah, video games. I might get into them again. I've been playing some other stuff, but nothing really. Oh, there's a new Dragon Ball Z RPG coming out.
An RPG for Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever played, probably not, but the Legend of Goku 2 on GBA is a top-down Dragon Ball Z RPG fighter thing, or like action game, not fighter. But that game is awesome. That was like, I got my Game Boy Advance SP, and I played that game over and over and over again for months, maybe years. I love that game. And so I liked Budokai and all those other fighting games, even though I'm not really a Dragon Ball Z fan in general. Mm-hmm. I like the characters, but I don't watch the show. So I like those fighting games, but I'm not super into them. But then there's Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which is an RPG game. It's coming out Friday. So I'm pretty pumped for that. I pre-ordered that on Steam.
That's pretty cool, actually. I had no idea that they were coming out with anything besides the fighting game for it.
Yeah. I'm a fan of RPGs. Apparently, the action of it is still fighting, like in the new Dragon Ball fighting games, but that's fine.
I'm sure it'll be fun though.
Yeah.
Like with the RPG elements, it'll probably be even cooler.
Yeah. But yeah.
But also for Cyberpunk's release date, it's April 15th of this year.
Oh wow, that's soon.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of games that are launching this year soon.
I want Doom Eternal.
Yes, that's also launching this year in like the next 6 months.
Yeah, it's coming. It was supposed to come out last year, but
yeah, but they pushed it back, which I'm okay with, honestly.
As long as the game's good.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't care how long they push games back as long as it's good, but don't do another Duke Nukem.
Oh, new Half-Life. That'll be crazy.
That's right, but you have to have like VR for it.
Both of us do.
I know, but I haven't set mine up.
Oh darn, this guy has to set up his virtual reality thing to play his virtual reality game
That I got for free as a gift.
Oh, poor you, Yazeed.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This will be an interesting year, not just for like games and stuff like that, but also for home games, because he's just been created right now, and home games is probably gonna continue to grow.
I hope so. If we're still at this point in a year, we should rethink some things.
I don't think there's a way that we could be. Well, where do you want to be in a year?
Oh God, you mean like as the like the product?
Yeah, not like as a person. I know where you physically want to be in a year.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Kicking it on the beach, sipping Mai Tais for anyone wondering.
I'm not a beach person, but
I know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I would guess just having something that I think we have legitimate fun with, like not just this thing works and it's kind of fun. Like Clictionary, I think was fun when I was playing with my mom, but that was kind of the start of it. I want to have I guess a game that I'm proud of. That would be great.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think we'll get there for sure.
Yeah, we'll see
this year. I think by the end of this year we'll have come up with some really cool stuff.
Yeah, hopefully. I have no idea.
It'll be built.
Yeah, that's the thing. Great. We have a lot of work that we have to do.
Yeah, no, I mean we do, but I feel like it'll get easier as the more we work on it, though. I don't think it'll get harder.
Yeah, hopefully at least.
Yeah. All right, man. I don't have anything else for What's Up Part 2.
Yeah, I don't think I do either. I'm gonna listen to Oh Wonder. That's my homework for the week.
I'm gonna listen to
Don Tolliver.
Yeah, Too Little Shorty.
Too Little Shorty.
And I want to see how it goes. I do have a rapid fire question for you.
All right.
What is your favorite non-song quote? Like a quote not from a song.
Be the change you want to see in the world by Gandhi. I say it all the time.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one.
I say it ironically, but I'm starting to say it unironically because it's really great.
Mine is dab on the haters. No.
From Vine.
And I turned to my friend Trevor and I was like, Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage, because that's the fun.
My God.
The one where it's like, Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage.
You have a real problem, you see.
Yeah, I know. At this point in my life, I feel like I have more knowledge about Vines than I do about most of my life.
You can be like a Vine historian professionally. You can pivot your career.
It's not too late to transition now.
Yeah, you're like a human version of Know Your Meme, but you're limited to just Vine.
I think I could only do that if I had like some rare, like ultra rare Vine that no one else remembered but was very funny, and I had it, but I don't. I'm not like a collector.
Keep them in your trench coat, just playing the MP4s, playing on the inside of this thing right here.
Jesus Christ!
Like, hey kids, you want to dab on the haters?
To answer the earlier quote question, mine is from JFK when he says, "We choose to go to the moon, not because it is easy, but because it is hard."
Yeah.
And I like that.
Was it the moon
idea.
specifically?
Yeah, well, yeah, he says, we choose to go to the moon in this decade, not because it is easy, but because it is hard. Oh, and to do those other things as well. Because he mentions like climbing mountains and exploring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember like the full speech. His full speech is like 20 minutes. I could probably memorize a poem now because I have a favorite poem. My favorite poem is from Dylan Thomas, the one with the famous like Rage Against the Dying of the Light, and it's like, you know.
I don't know any poems.
Oh really? Oh okay. That was a really famous one. It's like that's like the main poem from Interstellar. If you ever watched that.
You think I know things? I don't even know.
Oh my god!
I don't know.
You knew about the fake eggs?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm gonna know about fake eggs because that's my realm. Eggs. I don't know poems or like smart guy stuff.
You also know a quote from Gandhi.
It's true because I probably saw it on a meme once.
I think it is a part of a meme. Actually, is one.
Yeah, it's like the only reason I know quotes from like generals and whatever or presidents is from Call of Duty when you die on single player. You know.
Oh my god. The reason that I know the JFK quote is, I don't remember, but there was like a thread on Reddit and people were like, I think the coolest thing about human, I think the thread was like, what's really cool about being human? And somebody said like one of the coolest things what we name are robots. And it's like, if you really look at our robots, it's like Voyager, Explorer,
right.
Like Imagination, stuff like that. Like things that are like the best qualities in a person possible. And that's what we named our robots, hoping that they would embody those things.
Yeah. And
so then somebody posted the speech from JFK, and that was the first time I really listened to it, and I was like, I really like this. It resonates with me. Oh, whatever.
And you put that alongside Bodie McBoatface, you're like, how far we've come.
In my head, it's just that speech and Vines and home games.
Yeah.
And apparently just piles of dust eggs. So, you know. Or egg dust, rather.
Dust eggs is a whole different thing.
Yeah. All right. I think we're going to wrap this one up.
Yeah. I'm going to go blow my nose all day. Sorry about my voice. It's probably going to sound awful in the thing.
It's all good. We can call this episode Sniffy Noses and Scratchy Throats.
We can call it Sicko Mode.
Oh, yeah. Let's go with that one. That's a better name for sure.
Nah.
All right, everyone.
We should probably get a better title. But
Sicko Mode is a good title.
It's like a year-old song, though.
I think that's even better.
Great.
That's why it's funny.
Be like Old Man on the Internet.
All right, everyone. I think we're going to wrap this one up. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Yes.
Saturday. Bye-bye.
Bye.